What if the history of rocketry and the history of ritual were part of the same hidden story? This is Unexplained News Update, and I'm Reese Halden. Today we are looking at 7 stories that move from occult theory and UFO hotspots to real space medicine mysteries, signal search science, and finally apocalyptic symbolism in the sky. These are stories about mystery and meaning, and how quickly people turn uncertainty into narratives that feel real. Let's start with the strangest theory first. This is the kind of theory that turns one historical figure into a doorway between rocketry, ritual, and the possibility of something non-human. Jack Parsons was a real person. He was a pioneer in rocket science, a genuine innovator who helped shape American aerospace in the middle of the 20th century. But Parsons also practiced occult ritual, and according to a theory circulating in conspiracy culture, those two parts of his life were never really separate at all. The Babylon working is central to this idea. According to believers, it was a ritual performed in 1946 that some people interpret as a possible dimensional opening or a contact event with something beyond our normal experience. The theory then connects this ritual to the Collins elite, which is described in lore as an intelligence-linked faction that allegedly saw UFOs not as alien visitors, but as something deceptive or demonic. None of these claims are proven, but they remain influential in conspiracy culture, and they shape how some people think about the relationship between Cold War secrecy, ritual magic, and UFO phenomena. The real draw here is not certainty. It is the theory's ability to keep folding rockets, ritual, and secrecy into one endless mystery. That is where we start today, with the most speculative story in the lineup. From there, the rundown moves into more grounded territory. Once a place becomes a mystery stage, it makes sense to look at how that fascination gets mapped onto an actual location. Cornwall, on the southwest coast of Britain, is being framed as one of the country's best places to spot UFOs. According to reports, the county is experiencing rising sightings, and UK tabloid coverage is helping fuel the idea that Cornwall is now a destination for skywatchers. Here is the interesting part. The story is built from geography, folklore, and media coverage all working together. Cornwall has a coast. It has a particular atmosphere. It has history, and when those things combine with repeated news coverage and aviation-style incident language, a place can start to feel like the epicenter of something mysterious. That reputation becomes real, even if what it represents is less about the sky above Cornwall than about how culture decides what places mean. If Cornwall shows how mystery attaches to geography, then a new X-Files project shows how that same appetite keeps getting recycled through entertainment. Hulu is moving ahead with an X-Files reboot led by Ryan Coogler. Himesh Patel and Danielle Deadwyler have reportedly been attached to the project. The bigger point is cultural. The original X-Files helped define modern UFO and conspiracy storytelling. When that franchise comes back, it signals something about where the culture stands. A new X-Files project is more than nostalgia. It is a signal that paranormal storytelling still has commercial power in mainstream entertainment. The takeaway is straightforward. When the culture is ready to be haunted again, the X-Files comes back to remind us how. After a story about fictional paranormals returning to TV, let us pivot to a real anomaly in orbit that does not need any fiction added to it. Astronaut Mike Fincke experienced a sudden medical crisis aboard the International Space Station on January 7th. While eating dinner before a planned spacewalk, he lost the ability to speak. It happened very fast. For about 20 minutes, he could not communicate. Doctors ruled out a heart attack. He was not choking. And to this day, NASA still does not know the cause. The incident was serious enough to trigger NASA's first in-space medical evacuation from the ISS. That means this was not a minor event. This was a medical emergency that forced mission control to bring an astronaut home early. The real mystery is not whether space is strange. It is how much we still do not understand about what long-term orbit does to the human body. We send people into weightlessness for months at a time, and we are still discovering that something we cannot explain can happen to them up there. If ranking sightings on Earth, then we see how people turn uncertainty into maps of the weird. Delaware is now being framed as America's top UFO hotspot on a per-capita basis. That is surprising. Most people would expect Nevada or Washington or California to top such a list. But Delaware, a small state on the East Coast, is leading the country in sighting density, at least according to the rankings being circulated. The ranking is based on per-capita sightings data and social signal context. The real question is whether hotspots reflect actual activity or reporting behavior. Is Delaware actually experiencing more genuine anomalies? Or are people there reporting and talking about their experiences more? The answer probably involves both. But the story shows how a data-looking methodology can make any place feel mysteriously important. In the end, the ranking may tell us as much about how mystery spreads as it does about the sky itself. What if the galaxy has been speaking all along and our search methods were too narrow to hear it? Researchers at the SETI Institute are questioning one of the basic assumptions behind how we listen for alien intelligence. They argue that search strategies may be too narrow because stellar space weather can distort narrowband transmissions before they reach Earth. If a signal from another star system is narrow and focused when it is sent, space weather can broaden it across a wider range of frequencies by the time it arrives here. That means the signal detection systems we have built are looking for the wrong shape of thing. We are tuned to pick up very specific, tightly focused signals. But if space weather is warping incoming signals into broader, noisier patterns, our pipelines might be filtering them out without ever realizing what we are missing. This is a theory about search strategy, not evidence that aliens are transmitting right now. But it raises a possibility that is worth thinking about. The mystery is not just whether intelligence is out there, it is whether our idea of what to listen for has been wrong from the start. After all that talk about what we might be missing in the cosmos, it is fitting to end with a reminder of how quickly people turn a sky event into meaning. On March 26th, 2026, there was a total lunar eclipse that produced what is called a blood moon, where the moon appears reddish because of how Earth's atmosphere filters sunlight. This is ordinary astronomy. It is well understood and predictable. But online, the eclipse sparked a fresh wave of prophecy, content mixing astronomy, scripture, and doom culture. People linked the blood moon to biblical verses and end times language. Social media amplified the panic. The moon did not change, but the way people read it certainly did. The real story is not the eclipse itself. It is the fact that so many people still need the sky to explain the moment they are living in. When uncertainty is high and anxiety is real, we search the sky for signs, and we find what we are looking for. That is what we saw today. We started with occult theory and ended with celestial symbolism, passing through hotspot geography, medical mystery, and the limits of scientific method along the way. The thread connecting all of these stories is the same. They are all about how we search for meaning in uncertainty, and how quickly mystery narratives move through culture once they take hold. From conspiracy lore to entertainment to social media, strange ideas find their audience, and each story shows a different channel for that movement. If you enjoy this kind of story, follow Unexplained News Update and leave a rating wherever you listen. It really helps more people find the show. I am Reese Halden. Thank you for listening, and we will be back with more unexplained news